Lists and loops program. What have we learned so far in Python? In part 1 and part 2 of lists and loops, we learned about inbuilt functions and some vocabulary words. The inbuilt functions we learned were called range, title, insert, append, pop, and lots more. Some vocabulary words we learned were called lists, for loops, and del. Let's see what each of them do and what they mean. Range is a function which outputs a series of numbers, or a range of numbers. Basically, if I put range 100, it would print 1 to 99. To 99 because in Python we learned that everything is minus 1. If I say 200, it will do 299. Title, insert, append, pop are all functions that are used in deleting, inserting, adding to lists. So what are lists? Lists are basically a series of things with commas in between each one. In Python, we can do stuff with these lists, such as deleting, inserting, adding, and lots more. For loops. For loops are small loops that do a certain thing, such as printing a series of numbers and more. Del. Del is used for deleting an element from a list. You can realize that with del, delete. Now, del, title, insert, append, pop are all ways to do stuff with lists. So what are we going to do today in Python? Today we will be representing a small scenario in Python. We will be coding lists, deleting elements, inserting elements, popping elements, and replacing them as well. We will also use for loops to code or get certain outputs. There may be more than one possibility or way to do this, which we will show as well. So each of these scenarios are connected to each other, but we're going to do one scenario at a time. We're going to code them one by one. Let's see what our first part of the scenario is. Scenario 1. Your birthday is finally coming soon, and you want to celebrate. You're going to invite exactly 5 friends over for your party. You're going to send each of them party invitations. Let's code this. Basically, in this scenario, we just have to invite 5 friends, or make a list of 5 friends, and use a for loop to send them each a party invitation. So our friends are called Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah, and Dennis. And our list is also going to be called friends, so it's easier to find. Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah, and Dennis. This is our friends list. We can run it. We won't get anything because we haven't printed it. So you have to print friends, and then you'll see Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah, and Dennis. As so. And then it says send each of them a party invitation. To do this, we're going to use a for loop. We're going to do for I, because it can be anything. It just has to be a variable. For I in friends, print you are invited to my birthday party on the date of blah blah blah. And then, of course, they need to answer it. But since your friends, this is actually not going to actually go to your friends, you're going to answer it for them. You're going to put input, yes, are you coming, or not. And then they can answer. So when you run this, it'll go to each person. First Carl, then Bob, then Alice, then Sarah, then Dennis. And if you want, you can put it in the front too. You can say, I is invited. So I, a friend, so let's say Carl in a sense, Carl is invited to my birthday party on the date of blah blah blah. Are you coming or not? So there prints. It says Carl, and we forgot to put that space, so it's like saying Carl is. Gotta run it again. And it says Carl is invited to my birthday party on the date of this. Are you coming or not? Well, he's coming. Bob is invited to my birthday party on the date of blah blah blah. Are you coming or not? Yes. Alice is invited to my birthday party. Are you coming or not? Yes. Sarah is invited to my birthday party. Are you coming or not? Yes. Last but not least, Dennis is invited to my birthday party. Are you coming or not? Yes. The end. So, to make sure, we're going to go on a second scenario and see how many people say yes and how many people say no. Scenario 2. You are waiting for the replies and one person sadly couldn't make it because of a serious business meeting. You still want 5 people to come to your party, so you decide to invite another friend and send them an invitation, while telling your business friend that they were sorry that they couldn't make it. For scenario 2, we basically have to delete our business friend, or Dennis, and invite another friend called Madison. There are 2 ways to do this. One way is you already know that the person that's going to not come is Dennis. And the other way is that you don't know if they're coming or not. And when they reply, then you'll only find out. The way that we're going to do when the for loop will be a harder but better way and more realistic. This one isn't as realistic, but still works in our case. Let's say that we're going to delete Dennis and add Madison. And the way that you already know it is all you have to do is friends.pop. Because you know that Dennis is the last person in your or last element in the list of friends. So friends.pop deletes the last element. So if we print friends, and run it, it'll say, so we already know that Carl's coming, so it's going to see yes. Bob is coming, Alice is coming, Sarah is coming, Dennis is not coming. So you're going to do Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah. Dennis is removed. And then to add Madison, you can use multiple ways. You can use insert, you can use append, and some more. I'm going to use append because I think it's a bit easier. So I'm going to do friends.append Madison. And when I print friends after this, I'll get Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah, Madison. So are you coming or not? Yes. Oops. Yes. 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 No. And then first it was Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah. Now it's Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah, Madison. This is one way to do this when you already know that you're going to delete Dennis and add Madison. Another way is you can simply just change Dennis to Madison by going friends minus 1, or the last element, is equal to Madison. So when you print friends after this, Dennis will equal Madison. So even if we don't do any of this, you'll still get the same output. So Carl is coming, Bob is coming, Alice is coming, Sarah is coming, Dennis is not coming. So now it's Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah, Madison. So there's no more Dennis. You change Dennis to Madison. So this is one way, but we're going to be more realistic. Instead of already knowing to delete a Dennis and add Madison, well, of course we know we're going to add Madison, but instead of knowing that we're going to delete Dennis instead of Sarah or Alice or no one now, of course, we're going to code it. To do this, we're going to put this input into a variable called response. So response is equal to input, are you coming or not? And we're going to use an if-else loop. We're going to do if response is equal to yes, then continue. This is one area where we use continue. We don't want to code anything when they say yes. We're just going to continue. Else, if they say no or something random, we're going to say, or not say anything, but do something. We're going to do friends dot remove brackets, and in these brackets we're going to put I, because I is that name. So if that person is not going to come, then we're going to remove them. And we're not going to add anything in this. We're going to add it after, or not inside the for loop. So after, we're going to say friends dot append Madison. So we don't need this anymore. This is unnecessary. We made it more realistic. And we can run this to find out if it's working or not. So let's say Carl isn't coming. So we're doing what the scenario is. So Carl's coming, Bob is coming, Alice is coming, Sarah is coming, Dennis is not coming. Oh, and we forgot. We have to print friends afterward. Gotta print. So let's run this again. Carl is coming, Bob is coming, Alice is coming, Sarah is coming, Dennis is not coming. And then it prints Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah, Madison. And that's what we want. So it's more realistic. If I said Dennis is coming, but Sarah isn't, Sarah won't be there. But if we did the other way around, this will still happen, and it won't get changed. So this is a way to be more realistic. Let's see scenario 3. Scenario 3. You realize that you bought way too much food compared to the number of people coming. So you send a new set of invitations to 5 more friends. Now, in total, you have 10 friends. 5 plus 5 is 10. For scenario 5, we simply need to add 5 friends. The 5 friends are Daryl, Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Anne. To do this, we're going to use, there are 2 ways. One, you can append each one by one by one by one. But what if you had to add 15 friends? That would take up 15 lines, which is a pretty lot. Another way to do this is you can make a list. We're going to call this NF, standing for new friends. And NF is equal to a list that concludes these new friends. Daryl, Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Anne. And we're going to append each one using a for loop. We're going to do for A, because it can be any variable, in NF friends dot append A. That's all we need to do. What this is doing is for A, or Daryl, let's say, in NF. So first it's Daryl, so friends dot append Daryl, and it gets saved. Then it's Ryder. Then it's Tess. Then it's Bobby, and finally it's Anne. So you append all of these in this simple way. You just need to add to your list, and you're done. You don't need to append every single time. So another easy way to use a for loop. And we're going to print friends afterward. Print friends. So Carl coming, yes. Bob coming, yes. Alice coming, yes. Sarah's coming, yes. Dennis coming, no. And at the end, it prints Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah, Madison, Daryl, Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Anne. So it prints all of the people coming. And in total, if you count, there are 10 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another easy way to find the length is you can use length, but that's for something else. Let's see scenario 4. But before we go on to scenario 4, remember, we need to also send Daryl, Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Anne new invitations. And this time, we know they're going to come. So we're not going to do the big input thing. We're just going to know they're coming. We're just going to send them each a message. We're going to do for I or D and NF print please come to my party on this date. That's it. Now, we're just saying that they might come, but if you want to make this literally real and pretend like that, you can always do the input thing we did over here. But for now, I'm just going to keep it like this. And we're going to run it. So is Carl coming? Yes. Bob, yes. Alice, yes. Sarah, yes. Dennis, no. And they're all coming to the party. So after that, we're ready for scenario 4. Scenario 4. Oh no. The morning of the party you found out that the restaurant you ordered food from had an enormous food shortage because of a fire. You had enough food for only 6 people. You tell 4 friends that they couldn't come because of the food shortage, and you're really sorry. Let's code this. For scenario 4, we simply need to remove 4 people. The 4 people we're going to remove are Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Anne. To do this, there are 2 ways. One is you can delete it one by one and send them a message one by one. Another way is a simple way and less consuming. To do this, we would make a variable called remove and slice our list. In Lists and Loops Part 2, we learned about slicing lists. So we're going to do friends -4. What this is doing is it will get the last 4 people on the list. Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Anne. These 4. So let's run it. Yes. Wait a second. We didn't print it, so nothing's going to happen. So we're going to first print it and then run it. So print remove. Now we can run it. Yes. 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 No. And it prints Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Anne. Now all we have to do is make a for loop. we're going to do for H and friends, or remove, because that's our Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Ann. Remove. We're going to do friends, and since we're deleting, we got to use the remove. We got to do dot remove H. So we're going to remove each and every one, Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Ann. But we also need to send them a message. So we're going to print to each person, we're going to do H plus, so let's say H in the beginning would be Ryder. So it would be Ryder plus a string. I am so sorry, but because of the food shortage, you may not come to the party. Now, it sounds pretty rude. You might do it some better way, but for now, we're just doing this. So, Ryder, I am so sorry, because of the food shortage, you may not come to the party. And we'll say it to every single person. And we're done. When we run this, or we can print friends afterwards. Print friends. And friends won't have Ryder, Tess, Bobby, and Ann. We'll only have 6 people. 6 people. So let's run this. Is Carl coming? Yes. Is Bob coming? Yes. Is Alice coming? Yes. Is Sarah coming? Yes. Is Dennis coming? No. And it prints, Ryder, I'm so sorry, but blah blah blah. Tess, I'm so sorry. Bobby, I'm so sorry. And I'm so sorry. And then it prints Carl, Bob, Alice, Sarah, Madison, Daryl. 6 people that are coming. We're done. We told the people that couldn't come because of the food shortage, we're sorry. So this is scenario 4. Let's see the final and last scenario. Scenario 5. Scenario 5. Enjoy your party. If you want some practice on how to do these things and how these lists and for loops work together, you can make your own scenarios for practice, and it helps, like this one did as well. Well, that's the end of my video. Thanks for watching.